Our third section today is on strategies to ignite physical activity. Now, before we get started, I wanted to kind of review with you the CDC guidelines I just shared. They recommend moderate intensity aerobic activity for at least 150 minutes a week. And you can see some symbols for some various ideas there. It's not just limited to those, of course. And they also have started to recommend muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week. And there's different ways that you can do that as well. So when you get up to move, there's a couple of ideas here for you. One, schedule time to walk. So maybe your break time, it's time to get up and get out and start to walk. Some of you that don't have to answer the phone often, I don't have to answer the phone super often in my job, stand up to answer the phone. So when the phone rings, get up to answer it. Try to walk over and talk with someone instead of sending an email. Stand up for 30 seconds. Just whatever you're doing, just get up and stand up for 30 seconds. You can also just alternate between standing and sitting. Some of you have recommended that you have a desk that moves up and down. There are some apps that I'm going to share with you that remind you to move. You can also just get up to walk in place. And sometimes you can have those under desk bikes or ellipticals that'll help you to move while you're doing your work. The second one that we can talk about is having stretching at your desk. And these are going to help with those sore or tight muscles that are in your bodies. Now, I'm going to show you a quick video here. This is a longer 7-minute workout. We're going to just do a little bit. This is a video that I've been able to find on YouTube, and you can find more by just doing like office stretches. But let's follow along with this YouTube video for just a little bit of stretching.
The fingers, squeezing your palms together, and take your wrist circles one way. Make sure you don't separate the palms, but you keep them together and make the circles nice and big. Reverse your direction. For 3, 2, and 1. Reach one palm forward. Take the other hand over those fingers and gently pull toward the body. You could take a release on the breath in. Exhale, pull. One more. Pull the fingers in, and now bend the elbow and extend. This one's a little tough because your fingers will want to go forward as the elbow bends. See if you can keep the fingers in while the elbow bends. It might not be as much, and that's okay. Only go as far as you can, maintaining those cues, and now extend back. We got 2, and push. 1 more. Switching sides, same thing. Pull the stretch still first. And now, while keeping the fingers fixed as best as you can, bend the elbow and re-extend. Good. You have 2 and 1. Carefully release.
Now, this video goes on to do other stretches for other body parts. That part would have been helpful for your forearms or your wrists. So the next thing that we can talk about is if you're not able to do videos, what if you have some of these flyers that you can find? There's a lot of things that you can find on Google and searching, and you can just go ahead and download them, and you can either print them out and put them around your workspace, or you could keep a digital copy that's on your desktop on your computer and then be able to pull them up so that it reminds you different exercises or different stretches to do. I'd also like to share with you a great resource, and I'll share this again in a few minutes. It's called Derby.com. And in Derby.com, you can actually go in and filter out different types of exercises. These were basically things that I could find that had to do with you working in a chair and being able to do different stretches and exercises in your chair. So the next part would be and again, the CDC talked about having strength training a couple of days a week. So how can you get some strength training in at your desk? So here is a short little video that was on a news channel on 5 exercises to do at your desk. And this is a really quick video, so we're just going to watch this one.
It's important to incorporate movement into your day as much as possible. But that can be difficult if you're stuck at a desk and don't have much time for exercise. Danny Johnson, a wellness physical therapist, says Mayo Clinic came up with a solution that can help people squeeze in some exercise throughout their day without having to leave their desk.
We wanted to design 5 really simple exercises that you can do with a desk and a chair in a very small space so that you can work movement into your day.
She calls them the 5 fabulous exercises. They are chair push-ups, desk push-ups, chair squats, toe raises, and side kicks. Johnson says doing these series of 5 exercises only takes a few minutes and is designed to be done periodically throughout your day.
If you do that 4 or 5 times throughout the day, you've really gathered a great deal of resistance training, body weight exercises in a very short period of time spread out throughout your day.
For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Dee Dee Stephen.
So those are some examples on a video to kind of show you what to do. Again, you have another version of Principal Strength Training Routines. You can find these on Google as well. Lots of different variations here. And going back to one of my best resources of dareby.com. Again, you can go to, if you're on the website, click on the workout tab, use the filter and look for keywords. And you can also select options like different types of equipment if you're interested. These are all in the resources that we've provided for you, so you can print these 3 out if you would like. Whole Family Living also has some suggestions for apps for movement. So if you click here, they'll give you some ideas that you can follow along. Having an accountability partner is a big thing for helping you to move. When you do this, you encourage them, they encourage you, and then hopefully you'll be able to get out and be more active when you're exercising at work. Instead of just having a normal meeting, try to think about scheduling a walking meeting. Walk Arlington's giving us some guidelines for tips for planning your walking meeting. Can you get your meeting to be a walking and talking meeting? Give everybody in your group a heads up. Consider the needs of the group and if this is appropriate and helpful. Plan your route before you get started. Avoid turning your walking meeting in just to another coffee break so that it's productive. Create an agenda and share it in advance so you can prepare. And then you can accommodate note taking by doing things with your cell phone with voice memo or even just the camera app. Another way to get moving is to kind of work on a program called America Walks. Now, this is a community program to get people to walk together. This is something maybe you can create a group at your work location and do it at break times or lunch or maybe just after school or work times. Also, there is Well Steps gives you some ideas for completing a staff challenge, and they have some ideas here. One is through activity trackers. Most of us have these things that are available to us on our phones or our smartwatches. You can also do stretch or morning exercise groups, maybe small yoga group challenges. And then you can also do activities, specific activities, like in this one is a push-up at your desk. The big thing is when you're looking at movement, and I know I have this problem, are you stressed about time? Well, if the CDC asks you to do 150 minutes a week, just remember that time adds up, get moving. You don't have to do the 150 minutes in one stretch. You can do 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes there, and then you will understand that it will add up super quickly. Our big thing is to make sure that we have a chance to change. And we're going to create change by 3 small ways. First way is through individual tasks. What are you going to do as an individual to help you get these small little changes? What are you going to do in small groups? Maybe this is your accountability partner and yourself working together. And what about the organizational tasks that can be changed because of the movement that you're getting going and getting the group going together? As a former teacher, I would be remiss without not trying to share some classroom teacher connections. And the goal is to be moving with your class. So here is a video that became very popular during COVID, during the pandemic and having to share online. This is a this or that activity. So I'm going to start to play this and share with you. The students would see something like this on the screen, and they always loved the silly ones. They would pick which one they liked better, the left one or the right one. And then when they would get done with this time to share, they would do an activity to share with the group. So I'm going to kind of share and just go back and forth. So this one, they would do like 30 seconds of activity time, and then it would show another choice between the two. So this is just one of those activities, and it's on there. And these videos can be found on YouTube, and I call them this or that fitness activities. This is another one that's on here, and this one incorporates a little bit of movement in the classroom. So if you've ever done 4 corners, this corner is corner A, B, C, D, or you can number them off. And then I'm going to show you just a little bit of this one of a round. And the goal here is to move to a corner, and they're asking you to dance in this one. And when you get to the corner, if you're lucky, you're going to get points because you find Steve, which I think is the name of the Minecraft character. And if you go to the wrong corner, one of the, I think they're called creepers, I could be wrong, you don't get points, but then you do an exercise. These are really good. We call them brain boosts in our physical education realm. And they're really good for the students, and hopefully you're joining along with them. There's also these fitness break cards that you can find in the Healthier Generation Action Center. These are things that you could print out, hang on the walls. You could either incorporate digital versions into the slides, and then you can do these brain breaks with your students, whether they're stretching or strength training activities. Another idea that we've used in physical education a lot are UNO fitness cards. So you'd hand out a card to each individual student. If they pull a red card, they do one exercise, a blue card, a different one, a yellow one, a different one, and a green one, a different one. You could even add in the different like wild cards and drop fours also for the fitness UNO cards. And it gets the class moving, it gets the brain reconnected. And again, going back to that screenshot that we showed you of the brain scan, we get the higher colors, the brighter colors that show. Now, I know that as a teacher, there's a lot of times you need to check for understanding. And there are some teachers out there that when they ask a question for checking for understanding, they started to incorporate movements into the actual answers. So if your answer was A, you'll do this physical activity. If it was B, here's your physical activity C and D. And the big thing is to get the students moving, and then you can see you're checking for understanding, and then you can do your decision on reteaching or moving on. Now, if you want to up it, go ahead as the teacher, you create your own GIFs. They're super easy, very simple, and you can find that online. Or if you want to up it even more, take videos of your students and create GIFs of your students doing the movement and incorporate them into the slides. Then you're getting the whole classroom. Now, one of the things I wanted to make sure to point out to you on the assessment is the school or district policy on physical activity and disciplinary practices. Now, there's two parts of this. One, that you're removing a student from a physical activity time because of a behavior or a lack of work. The second one is using physical activity as punishment for doing something wrong. Both of these are incorrect. California has just passed a new law that will go into effect shortly, SB 291, that requires California schools to provide a minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity on a regular school day. You cannot remove a student from those physical activity times for behavior or discipline, and you cannot use physical activity as corporal punishment. If you're outside of California, this can be maybe a guide that you could follow along for reviewing your district or school policy on physical activity and disciplinary practices. Now, going back to the key to an active classroom, join them. You should be the teacher, give them some of that adult leadership and showing, and that helps you to be active too.